What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to Strangers Minds. I'm Fernando, and today we're going to read from Reddit. But this is my I titled the last two for me page. So we're gonna just read off what we see, and the first thing we see is what the F is on in my house. Oh, I'm sorry. I read that completely wrong. What the F is going on in my house? It's in the subreddit Ghosts. Let's see what's up. Let's see some story. Yay, story. All right, wait. Let's not hear it right now, even though it's muted. But let's read what it says. Listen with headphones. Oh yeah, headphones. Home alone after my roommate left for work, and I keep hearing noises from above me. It's been happening for about a few weeks now, and at first I thought it was just the AC. I shut it off. I even unplugged my clock, but the sounds kept coming. In the first clip, you'll hear the weird noise I've been hearing. In the second, there's a sudden loud bang that scared the hell out of me. I searched the whole house thinking someone was inside, even called my landlord, convinced someone might be in the attic. This has never happened before. He came and checked for animals. There was none. I can't explain it. I don't know what's going on, but it doesn't feel right. What do you guys think? Ooh. Okay, so first and foremost, let's amp up the video. Let's hear what's going on and see what's up.
In the world. What the heck was that?
Well, for sure, it sounds like there is movement on the first clip, and that bang is undeniable. You would definitely notice, or you'll get shook for sure. Let's see. Okay, so is Honeybees 5909 that posted this? Let's see the comments. One time long ago, my husband worked nights. I would hear someone walking around my house, then hearing noises like tapping on the windows, scared to death. Long story short, our best friends lived two houses down. The husband was offering to stay with me when my husband worked nights. What? Our best friends lived two houses down. The husband was offering to stay with me when my husband worked nights. Found out it was him trying to get close to me. I never let him stay. Later years down the road, he got arrested for murder. What? You think you know someone, right? That is horrifying. How did you discover it was him? It was years later. I had already moved to Virginia. This was in Pennsylvania. My family sent me the newspaper. I guess he was also in the news. I thought this story was gonna go a whole different route, but yeah, yeah, for sure. Gee, best friends live two houses down. Anyway, let's get back to our story. Definitely make sure you investigate further. The first of the two recording resemble footsteps from a floor above you. Yes, it does. But the second recording sounds as if it came from the floor you're on. How long have you lived in this place? Sorry to hear about this. It sounds creepy. Actually, I'd argue that the footsteps did sound like if it was coming from above, but that bang sounded like if it was coming from the side. I'm not sure where is your bed positioned, but it sounded like it was almost like a headboard or closet door or possibly even the door to your room. That didn't really sound like if it was coming from above. All I could say that doesn't sound like if it was coming from under either. It sounded like if it was almost in the room with you and it was trying to get your attention. With that being said, yeah, if you already had somebody like the landlord come and investigate, he found no animals or no traces of nothing, then my next couple of questions is going to be, have you experienced anything else before living in this place? Have you experienced anything else before you decided to start recording? Have you experienced anything else afterwards? W- For us, paranormal investigators, to get involved in a case, yes, when it involves children, we're gonna, that's priority. We're gonna go in and see if there's anything that we could help you with. Now, depending on the person, um, we could go in and help depending on the situation, but we might need a little bit more to conclude if it's something paranormal. Because honestly, uh, nowadays, paranormal investigators, we have to be a little bit more careful taking cases due to the fact that everybody is looking for their 15-minute of fame, their viral moment, make money, and it's a waste of our time. So, with that being said, I hope you found some sort of answer. This was 16 hours ago. So, I hope you found some sort of answer, but keep us posted on if anything has changed. Where was I? Oh my God, thank you. Because I tried to rationalize and think it was animals, but it did and does sound like footsteps to me. So eerie because it goes through the whole house. My landlord came and it did a thorough check of the house inside and out and found absolutely nothing, which was even more strange. No animal drops, no way inside. He even climbed on the roof. Wow. You have an animal in your attic. Sounds big, so maybe raccoon. Okay, what came first? Did she reply first? Because obviously, yeah. Put a strobe light or several pointing in all directions in the attic. I deal with this stuff daily, and this is what my client recording shows me they've recorded. Can't say like in this sub WTF. What? I don't know what that means. I have had a mice in my attic. Yep, raccoon. Okay, you guys remember? Maybe Honeybee responded this after everybody already responded, but she already had the landlord go in. No signs of animals. That means no droppings, no scratches, no fur, no signs of animals. Now, this is coming from my perspective. If Honeybee is saying that the landlord came and found no evidence of animals, then we have to go with what we are reading and with what Honeybee is saying. So instead of just throwing out there that is a bunch of animals, let's try and find another solution to help. My advice would be set up more cameras, set up cameras, get more evidence, not just for if you're going to look for help, but even for yourself. Because you're going to need a little bit more than just audio to figure out what's going on. So, if you have access to your attic, definitely set a camera in the attic. Um, it'll be too much to ask to put like something pointing at the house. So we could see the roof, but everything depends on how far you want to take it. But if you want answers, we're gonna need a little bit more, and visual is would be the way to go, not pictures, video. All right. With that being said, let's move on to the next paranormal encounters. This is another subreddit. Oh, by the way, sorry. Let's give it a like. All right, let's read this. 6 days ago, paranormal encounters. Hold on. Let's pause the video. So, help identify flying objects. Okay, there's no story to it. Let's see. There is movement. Oh, that's weird. What kind of telescope are you using? I want to see that one more time. That is so weird. All right, so this one over here is like the outer, but then there are four more around this area, and they are the same light like the stars, except the stars aren't moving. The way it's moving around, it's almost like it's rotating. Could it be? I do believe in UFOs, UAPs, aliens. My mind is not that close minded that we are the only living species in the universe. But it looks like if it is a UFO and it's not nothing natural, again, I'm not a professional. I am a paranormal investigator as far as, spirits and entities. But as for UFOs, I would like to get in contact with some of our friends, just in case I am part of a podcast, The Shadow Files, with my boys out there in Australia, Gary and Jeremy. We have a lot of guests coming in, and they know, they are experts in certain areas. So I would like to show them this clip and see if they could determine if this is a natural occurrence. I It looked like it was rotating, but these two over here kind of stopped and went this way, while the outer one is going like in circles. This one is kind of doing its own thing. Yeah, they completely turned. And it looks weirder from far too. That is super interesting. Let's check out the comments. Finally, some legit UAP footage. I actually agree. I actually agree. Cold Bear Pirate. Okay, I actually agree. For real, this is one of the best I've ever seen. Anybody have a link of the orb that disables an ICBM mid flight? Can't find it anywhere. Secret unveiled YouTube channel. I just found it. Again, short clip. It's fake. Well, I mean, if we're just gonna shoot the shit out the video, can it be fake? Of course. With AI, you could create anything. But when I see reaction or when I see videos, period, my mind is not gonna go straight into this is BS. So if your mind is gonna go straight, if you are a skeptic and your mind is gonna go like this is BS, then why even come here? Why even like put in your 2 cents? Just do what you do as a skeptic and just live your normal life. But everything depends because I give, I see all everything. I see all the videos. Then I conclude whether or not something is real and fake. But if you're just gonna throw out there as fake, then don't need people like that around here. Okay. Can we start with some simple questions like what is the source of the footage? Who was the photographer? What sort of an optical system are we looking through? And where exactly was it pointed at that time? Degrees, declination, and R ascension with UTS timestamps. Where were you when taking this footage? Again, GPS coordinates and time. What night vision are you using? I mean, all of these are very legitimate questions, yes. But my guy, you're at what if this, this person is not, a freaking scientist, right? Like what if this person was just recording just to record and like many of the videos, especially, let's say paranormal call on tape videos, he's just a bystander that caught something and is just sharing. Yes, all of these questions are legitimate, and very useful. But you're probably asking a lot of hard questions for this person to. I mean, honestly, I would like to know the destination at least, but GPS coordinates that's a little different. Um, when I say location, I'm like, was he in the states? Is he, out there? Europe, China. I mean, it's cold bear, right? So we're gonna assume it's from the states. So what state? You know, um, so on and so forth. But let's keep it moving. Uh, this exactly is what we need before it can be posted on our UFOs. They take stuff down if there is no submission statement, I believe. If you get these details, I will post it there for you if you like. Oh, that's actually very cool. They have some restrictions. You cannot just post any BS. Restrictions. I actually like this, and I am going to give these people a follow. I'll be back, you guys. But I am go. Oh, I joined it. Check that out. I'm already part of it. So, just to make sure, we're gonna come back and do a video on UFOs, and we're gonna come to this post. Let's see how legit um, they say they are. Right. So, okay, we were here. All right, but let's keep it moving. Let's go to the next one. That was paranormal encounters. Okay, where are we? Oh, hey, we just refreshed my for you page, for me page, sorry. So, let's read the story right here. 11 hours ago, ghost named Barbara in my house. I need help. Okay, let's see what's up. Um, Personal encounter. I just moved to the suburbs from California. I am 17 and now living with my mom, my younger sister, and my little brother. I have always been able to see ghosts. Huh. So we would have to, well, okay. Just my mind went all over the place because there are a lot of people that are sensitive and don't know it. So they experience a lot of different things. And yeah, it is a scary situation to be seeing you know, I see dead people and not knowing that you have a gift. Um, I have always been able to see ghosts, or at least that's what my family tells me. Don't go by what anybody tells you. I'm not saying to disrespect your family, but you go with your experience. If you are seeing something that is, like a ghost, that's pretty straightforward. So don't let people tell you that you're this, and that. You figure it out for yourself, especially if there is a possibility that you are a psychic, medium, empath, so on and so forth. I would always talk to ghosts, play with them, and see them when I was little. Anyways, a woman named Barbara died in my house a month before we moved in. We don't know how she died. She either took her own life or died of natural causes. I believe that she is haunting my house and she does not know how to move on. I have seen her multiple times on the landing pad of the staircase and in the and in, well, the staircase, in the living room, and in my mom's room. I want to try and communicate with her. If anyone can help me, that would be great. Also, sorry if it does not make sense. I have dyslexia and I am not the best at explaining stuff. That is completely fine. You already gave what we need. Now, as far as communication, if you could see them and talk to them, you don't need nothing but yourself. Now, if you want to get, I don't know, like record and you want to hear it to show other people, that's different. But since it seems like you are a sensitive, you could just talk and get these answers with the ghost if you're able to, because it's scary. It's scary. Now, again, you could use a voice recorder and you could record your conversation and you probably catch some EVPs. If you want to go a little bit further, use a voice recorder and record yourself using a camera. You can even use your phone, um, and do both. And just, you don't need nothing. You don't need nothing. You would never hear me say, grab a Ouija board. Do not grab a Ouija board. Okay. Stay away from Ouija boards. Everybody, PSA, stay away from Ouija boards. Um, it is a toy for kids, but depending on location, depending on intent, it could be a doorway also. I truly believe that. So, yeah, yeah. If you already know the name, that means you already have a some sort of communication build up there, and you could just ask her if she needs help. And a lot of times, people could misread certain entities. Um, but let's just say if she did um, take her own life, maybe she needs somebody to hear her story and maybe share it as to why she did it. Now, if somebody did something to her, maybe she needs some sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, like to have her story told, possibly even get somebody in trouble, right? If somebody did something, then she's probably trying to find out what happened. So I have a couple of friends. From Forsaken Soul Paranormal. They actually, the lead investigator, Jacqueline Loren. She's actually not gonna say her, her occupation, but she does work. Let's just say for the government, and she does her own thing. She's part of a television show right now that it's on the Spirit Realm Network. If I said it correctly, I believe so, um, called Dark Echoes. So she's part of their team right now. But before, she used to take unsolved mystery cases, investigate, and add a little paranormal investigation to it to see if they could figure out what happened to these entities. So, yes, just to get back to this story, you guys could try and, or yourself, if you need somebody by your side, since you have family members that tells you that you have a gift, I would confide in them so they could help you go through the process of figuring out what does Barbara need to move on. That would be my advice. Ooh, it is a long story. Let's see what's up. Commercial job 1105. All right. Kindly explain that she has crossed over out of the physical world and encourage her to go into the light where her loved ones will be waiting to greet her and usher in over to the other side. Well, go towards the light. That is, I mean, what if there's no light? That's just something people say. Go towards the light. I mean, that's what I believe. Unfortunately, the only way you'll ever know that is if you're in this situation you're dead. We'll never find out unless you try to communicate. Um, you can also establish boundaries by assertively but respectfully telling them that they aren't allowed to contact you or make their presence known when you're sleeping. This is also an option, but me as a paranormal investigator, I tend to want to help. So if there is a spirit wandering, my thing would try to see if it needs something. Obviously, we aren't hearing anything that this is a malicious spirit or something that is really bothering you. You're actually, the way your story comes out of is that you have the name, and yeah, I'm pretty sure that you come across situations where you get like spooked, and yeah, of course, because paranormal, and but it doesn't seem to me like you're giving any like if it's bad. So I would try to communicate and help her move on. Doing otherwise, like how catastrophic queen established boundaries, doing otherwise, what if you're not really comfortable having a ghostly roommate? Like, what I would rather, even if it's a good ghost, even if it's a good entity, a good person, I would rather have them cross over so I could have my privacy, you know, like my house. Because regardless of what, let's just say you not ignore but establish boundaries. You do sleep. What if something starts happening and you wake up? You're losing sleep. What if you're taking a shower, just knowing that there's eyes anywhere? You're taking a shower. There's no privacy. So I would go with trying to help the entity, and if it's possible, help her move on and just call it a day. Call it a day. Um, if that doesn't work, or if you don't feel comfortable talking to them, you might consider reaching out to a professional or assistance. For reference, there's a show called Rescue Mediums on UT. If you're interested, oh, that's actually very interesting. That actually does a really decent job of showing you how this is done. In the event that you do feel like you need additional assistance in crossing them over or learning how to communicate with them moving forward. Wow, it's good to know. Thank you, Catastrophic Queen. That is very good to know. But yes, commercial job. It's a weird name. It does seem like you have a gift. So people with gifts, depending on what route you want to take, um, I would recommend that you do seek help so you could understand and possibly even um, control. Dare I say control? I haven't heard of a story where psychics are able to fully control their gifts, but I'm pretty sure it's better than not knowing what are your reach within this psychic realm of yours. So I would definitely try and get some help in that, and possibly even consider reaching out to or sending them a DM. I'm pretty sure that the YouTube channel Rescue Mediums has a way of communication, because they are a very tight knit community. They just don't believe anybody saying they're a psychic. So if there is a community out there of psychics, trust that they are very careful with who they let in. Um, but with that being said, you guys, it's about that time. I hope you are enjoying this content. I found this story very interesting. So if you are enjoying yourselves, please do what you do when you like a channel. Hit that like, share, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. And I'll catch you guys on the next. Peace.